Hello, everybody. Welcome back once again to On the Couch with David and Travis.
This was episode 14, Weaving a Story. This is a interesting one, mainly for format reasons. It's a bit bizarre.
There are some times where playing with format is good, and it helps emphasize, aspects of the story you're trying to go. I feel like this one, there's not a real path to what they're trying to do.
I feel like the reason this episode is the way it is, which if you didn't know, it starts out with an 8 to 10 minute section. I wasn't really keeping track. That's a clip show that just summarizes what's happened up to now. Yep. Which in a 26 and movie episode series, you don't really need that. I think the reason this is not because of narrative or storytelling reasons. This is because of budgetary reasons. Because even so, they could have very easily stretched what content there is of this episode to 23 minutes.
Oh, yeah.
Because it's an interesting episode, and they're throwing a lot of information at you really fast. But the first 10 minutes, it's literally just, this is the first, there's not even narration, there's text, which I get kind of is important later, sort of, but it's just sort of strange. It plays like, what do we say, like an educational video, or like a debriefing,
or like a documentary, really poorly done documentary.
It's not.
It's not poorly done.
I don't think it's poorly done. It's just boring. Because it's such a short show, and The Simpsons didn't need clip shows either. They had to do that because of the network. But I think this is budgetary issues through and through.
Oh yeah.
And there's really not that much that can be said at all because of the clip show section. Really, do you have anything?
Not too much. I was confused as to why they were testing Shinji in Unit 0 and then Rei in Unit 1.
Well, we'll get to the actual crux of it. I just wondered if you had anything about the clip show part.
No.
Okay. Well, what they were trying to do is they're trying to test other pilots for the other... Because, it's supposed to be like, Shinji is embedded for Unit 1. But could Shinji use Unit 0 if he had to? And they're working on something called the dummy system, which I don't really want to go into right now.
Right. We'll get to later.
Yeah. A lot of Bible words thrown at you, this one. We get all the angels' names, which are Sakiel, Suki. It's all angel names.
Angels. Literally angels from the Bible.
We get Dead Sea Scrolls, which is part of sort of like their planning. Did you hear them say that?
Yeah. Something about this is not what the Dead Sea Scrolls had planned. Something with that.
My favorite part of this episode is when we get right out of the clip show part, and it starts with that very non-form section with Rei.
It was interesting.
It's because it's first I'm kind of like, she's just sort of saying a poem and it's interesting stuff. I think it's interesting how watching it I realized she's like sort of tracing the sort of evolution of organisms. Like it goes from water, air, flowers, people, civilization, Ava's me.
Yeah.
I think it's visually very interesting. I think it's voice acted well, and I think it's a great sequence.
It's interesting, and it made me intrigued. It wasn't so strangely done that I was turned off by it.
No,
it was. I thought it was done pretty effectively, just to get me interested in what was going on.
They were also playing pretty fancy and free with the colors in this episode. I noticed there was a lot of rainbow effects and sort of shines and glittery things, which is fun. I like a little color. I probably say that every episode. I like the blues and the reds, but I also like the rainbows.
Yeah.
And it was also a little bit of a, I guess not an info dump episode, but what was there was a lot of okay, we're doing this, we're doing this, we're doing this, we're doing this, and it throws it at you really fast. Like we said, this could be a 25-minute episode very easily.
Oh yeah, yeah. I besides that, I don't really have much to say because I feel like it went by really quickly.
I like the part where Shinji's sort of like, is this Rei? What's going on here?
Oh,
and then it has the face come, and it's kind of like a really creepy face.
That was really strange.
Catches you off guard there.
It was only there for a couple of frames, too. If you easily could have missed it if you didn't see it.
I think it's interesting how Misato thinks that it was trying to attack Rei, but Ritsuko is sort of insisting that it was trying to attack her. And then we have that sort of... We don't get a lot of dialogue with Gendo, even though I guess you could argue he's our antagonist, in a very loose sense.
Something's going on there.
Yep, but that's all we know right now is something's going on. We don't really.
It's all kind of archaic and.
But I like conversations between him and Fuyutsuki.
They're interesting.
I think they're interesting, and I kind of like how, Fuyutsuki's like the yes man. Let's do this. But they showed in this scene that he has things he's afraid to say to Gendo. He had the moment where he was thinking, "You're too attached to Rei."
Yeah.
And that's something he wouldn't say out loud to him. And I think that's sort of an interesting little moment. And we just get that really short thing on the end where it's like, is she doing it? Yep, she's got the lanceologinus. Oh, she's walking. Okay, where'd she get it? What is that? What's going on? So it gives you a lot of questions to work with in this episode, but that's my main critique, is they should have just made this a full one, expanded on that.
Instead of a clip show, because they didn't need the clip show.
Well, and I guess they're just running out of money or whatever, but...
Whatever.
I think it's... I guess the perspective is, the first time I watched this show, I saw, like, the first 5 minutes, I'm like, oh, this is a clip show. Shut it off. I'll just skip to the next one. But I do think this one is worth watching. You can skip the first section. I really don't think there's anything to gain from it. You can skip it, but I think you should watch the rest of the episode. Yeah, I think it is interesting.
It's interesting. It's not bad. Like, it's not like episode 3 bad. You know, it just feels incomplete. Mm-hmm. But what they have is good.
Yeah, what's done poorly is as a result of the format they either had to or chose to go with versus, poor storytelling decisions.
Yeah.
But, like you said, there's not a lot to talk about. Mm-hmm. Weaving a story, next is episode 15.